In this video, I'm going to show you 7 ChatGPT prompts that took me from knowing nothing about coding to building full-stack web development tools and web apps that look like this. So we're going to break them up into 3 categories. The first category we're going to look at is the basic category. This is if you know nothing about coding or very little. These are the prompts that I would use. The first one is explain to me blank. Explain to me blank is a very wide-ranging one. You can ask ChatGPT to explain to you how different coding languages work. You can say, explain to me how HTML works. Explain to me the syntax of JavaScript. It's a very wide-ranging prompt that you can use to kind of get an understanding of various different topics and understandings within coding and programming. You can also ask it to explain to you how web pages are built, how programs are built, how softwares are built, because often you won't find that information very easily online in a way that's described to you in as if you know nothing. And so this is a great way to kind of get an understanding before you go fully into web development or programming. The second prompt is, what does this error code mean? So this is a really valuable one if you are looking at an error, or you're getting a stack error, if you're getting a flow error, if you're getting different errors from your terminal. This is a great way to get a different insight into how these errors are taking place. A great way that you could use this is that you can actually copy and paste the error from Bash or terminal or from a command line, and also copy and paste the code that you have and give it to ChatGPT and say, show me where the error is. And it's a great way to learn how to look for errors and how to view error statements. The next prompt is, show me the best way to code this project. This goes into the same theme that we were looking at before with all of the basic prompts. And that's just getting a basic understanding of how different coding structures work, how different coding languages work, how they work together. So asking the ChatGPT to show you the best way to code this one project, it was very invaluable to me starting out, because if I had a vision for what a project or an app, what I wanted it to look like, I could, because if you pay for ChatGPT 4.0, if you pay for ChatGPT Plus, you can copy and paste images as well, so you can draw web pages and kind of just get an understanding of how to build building blocks to build on top of things. Okay, so the second category that we have is I can code a little bit. So these prompts are for if you know how basic coding structure works, different coding languages. The first one is, show me a full stack outline for this project. This is, if you know what the term full stack means, if you don't know what it means, then you might need to go back to the basic and say, explain to me what full stack means to ChatGPT. But I'll explain it for just a little bit. Full stack means all of the coding languages that you will need, basically back end and front end, that will be able to build all the functionalities and the visual aspects of a web app or any program that you want to write. And so asking ChatGPT to write a full stack outline for a project will give you an idea of the different coding languages that you'll need to know and the different functionalities and steps that you'll need to go, when do you deploy, things like that. The second one is, how would you go about adding this functionality? This is a great way to get an understanding of when you should add functionalities versus when you should just start building a web app. I think the biggest problem that I had when developing the web apps that I developed for teachers is that I started off with all these ideas and all these functionalities, and I never started building the web app. And so if you start building the web app from scratch, it can get hard to know when to add functionalities. Asking this prompt to ChatGPT is a very great way to know when to add those functionalities and where to add them. The third category is full prompt gramming. This is a term that I heard from Grimoire through the GPT store. Prompt gramming is using prompts like spot the error to learn. You're basically just deriving code straight from ChatGPT. This is one of my favorite ones that people don't know about at all. It's called Spot the Error game. It's one I've been playing. You ask ChatGPT to give you some code with errors in it, and you try to pick out where those errors are. You can even copy and paste the code into a script on your machine and run it and see if you can debug and fix the code itself. It's a great way to learn how to manage error codes and debug. And then the last one is fully asking ChatGPT to code something for you and explaining it. This is full prompt programming. Though, as you'll see at the end, I wouldn't recommend this one if you're just getting started on coding, just because, as you can see from the code that's populating on the screen, ChatGPT can give you a lot of code, and it will give it to you in a syntax that might not make sense because different coding languages have different syntaxes. So when you have all these different coding languages working side by side, it can be hard to understand what each of them means if you don't have a basic understanding. But this is a great way to get a start if you already know how to program, get basic boilerplate content for a web page or a program. So final notes, as easy as it may be, please don't let AI code everything if you really want to learn how to code from scratch. You need to code things yourself and use ChatGPT as just a tool, or kind of like a tutor. ChatGPT and other generative models can be wrong sometimes, so research and fact check everything that you get. And the most important thing about learning how to code is you just got to make stuff.